Hi, I'm meteorologist Enrique Hernandez, and just wanted to bring everybody up to date to the weather situation that we currently have going on here in Southeast Texas and also in the state in general. Um, we've been in a pretty cold pattern the last few days since the cold front did get here. Had a bit of a ice precipitation here in southeast Texas. Nothing too major, but that is now moving its way out. But we have a new system coming in, another cold front that might be even colder than the one we had, and we might just see more wintry precip out of this one than the past one. And let me tell you why. Let me just explain to you the setup. What you're looking at here is the jet stream over the continental U.S. This is using the GFS model, telling us what the computer model thinks will happen over the next few days. And just wanted to take a look. Wanted you to take a look up in the polar region here in around Canada. We see the jet is coming out of the North Pole, and what we call this is a cross polar jet. What this is doing is bringing bitter cold air not only from the North Pole but also from Siberia down through Canada and into the continental U.S. And we got a little taste of that with this past cold front we had to blow on through. Um, but who's getting the real brunt of the cold air is folks up in the Great Lakes and off the eastern seaboard. I wanted to take you through the time of the model of what it thinks is going to happen, and let me explain to you what it is showing. So as this cold air does move its way on out of here, we see that the jet over our state begins to come out of the Pacific. Now this will be the source of moisture for the anticipation of rain we have starting today into tomorrow and Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We also have a cold front that will be riding along this cross-polar jet stream, bringing in bitter cold air and probably something colder than the one we had earlier this week into our area. And let me tell you why. As we see here, as we loop this through, we see that we have more of a northerly component from the jet stream that will be pushing that cold air down towards the state of Texas. And at the same time, we have the jet stream bringing in moisture from the Pacific. Um, and at the lower parts of the atmosphere, we have Gulf moisture that will be feeding in. This is all a scenario where we will see rain around the weekend, but the problem is, or what the models are disagreeing is, and we have to keep an eye on is, will we see any interaction with cold air where we might see, sleet or maybe freezing rain here in southeast Texas. So as we continue to go on through the day on this is Saturday into Sunday, we see that the jet really gets cranked up around the time the cold front makes its way into our area. And we see a lot of this cold air begin to filter into the state of Texas, along with that moisture running in from the Pacific. Next, I wanted to show you is relative vorticity at 500 millibars. What this is pretty much it shows us where we have instability that may create lift, which helps us get some convection going in order to get some storm, or not storm in this case, just rain activity. Um, right now, we see a lot of not a lot of activity here in the state of Texas. But as we go on through the day Saturday, we see that a lot of that activity up in the Panhandle, we see more where they're expecting a little bit of snow and maybe some icy situations in DFW and into the hill country of Texas. And as we go in through the day Saturday into Sunday, we see more of that lift being brought in by the cold front and also in general by the jet stream. Um, and as that jet stream continues to dig its way down into the state of Texas, we see a little bit of a cutoff low. This will be probably a big rainmaker for the state of California, where they desperately need the rain. But for us, it will mostly mean, at least the timing of it. At what time does all this lift, moisture, temperature combine at the right time in order to have some kind of wintry precipitation. And that's the real issue, that it's not known, and we probably won't know until the day of or the day before. So just make sure you keep it tuned here, and I'll guide you through everything. Um, so looking at our next product, we see temperatures. Just wanted to take you through the day tomorrow. More seasonable for many of us, up in the mid 60s for many of us, 65 around here in Houston. That'll be around the norm. That'll be the norm around most of the area. And as we get into Saturday, we'll see a pretty big warm up, as most of us will be reaching the 70s. Around this area. But I want you to keep your eye up on the panhandle, where they're seeing already cold air interact with the state. That's the cold front pushing into our state. And by, I believe this is Sunday in the morning, we're seeing that cold front push into our northern counties. So cities like College Station, Conroe, Huntsville, Crockett, they will see this cold front arrive in the morning hours, and we really won't budge those temperatures up in during the day. Our high temperatures will probably be in this morning hour. For many of us here in Houston, our temperatures around 62. That will probably be our high before the cold front gets here in the mid morning to to early afternoon hours, before this front pushes off late Sunday into Monday, as it pushes off the coast. Now we're seeing some pretty cold temperatures coming in with this is the GFS model showing only a high in the 30s for many of us on Monday. And that's bitter, bitter cold air. And here's the trick. We're seeing temperatures around 32 in Huntsville, 33 in Conroe, 35 here in Houston, give or take some degrees. That could mean, if moisture is present, whether or not we will see some of those icy conditions. What I can tell you is that up in North Texas, around the DFW area, the hill country, where they'll be in the mid to upper 20s, they're expecting icy conditions to develop. So if you're traveling up towards the DFW area or the hill country, might take note of that. And as we go into the day on Tuesday, into Monday into Tuesday morning, we see those temperatures bottom out, really, for most of us. 31 in Conroe, 33 here around Houston. But the question is, will that moisture be there? Will we have any type of precipitation at that time where we can see icy situations develop? We'll definitely need to keep an eye on that. And soon enough, the cold, just like it does, we kind of go into this pattern of frigid air for a while, it looks like, before we go back to our normal pattern. And a lot of the models showing more cold fronts, so we're definitely not done with winter just yet. And this, I just wanted to show you, this is the GFS's kind of simulated radar, where it shows us rain, snow, and frozen precipitation. Now I want you to take you through Friday and Saturday. We see some showing some kind of rain here in our area, as that cold front does make its way on through. Up in the Panhandle, they're expecting some snow. Then we have kind of a sleet, snow, maybe freezing rain mixture into the hill country before it moves on into the DFW area. And here's where it gets interesting. As that freeze line, this blue line right here, moves into our part of the region, it's showing we'll be seeing some type of frozen precipitation, at least for our northern counties at this time. Houston proper, you look to be in good shape, but if that fluctuation of temperature changes even one bit in a downward, we could see a different situation here in the city. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it to see what goes on and what happens throughout the rest of the weekend. And this is also from AccuWeather, showing you the conditional freezing rain. So it shows pretty much where the line could be if it does develop, and it shows, sorry about that. So Houston would be located around here, and the line is just north, so probably areas like Conroe, College Station are more likely to see a lot of that frozen precipitation. But again, we could be looking at a situation where it all depends on what the temperature does here in the city. So, and just to play around, wanted to see a little bit of whether we have some snow activity. It shows nothing here in our part of the region. Up north, where they're expecting some snow, yes, we can see a lot of that develop. Another thing I wanted to take a look at was the precipitable water for our area during that time from the GFS and the European model. So GFS has us at about a PWatt of 1.2 to 1.4 in our area, and that's pretty significant for this time of year. So that means that's the amount of moisture that we have over our heads, and for this type of year, that's pretty significant. And the European model not showing much of a difference with the GFS, so I guess that's a good sign of things to come, as both of these models are agreeing on the type or amount of moisture that we will have in our area. So for College Station, taking a look at the GFS model, what is showing here is the temperature trend, but also the possibility of rain. The possibility of rain here showing we have a little bit of a rain shower activity as those temperatures dive down into the freezing mark. Well, there will probably be at or below freezing. Now it all depends what happens and what happens with this moisture interaction to see if we will have any frozen precipitation up in the College Station area. And also the European model kind of agrees with it, but only one difference with the European model. European is putting College Station above freezing, and that's the problem. Will College Station be above freezing or below freezing? That will be the determining factor of whether or not you just get plain cold rain or you get some icy slick spots over the city. Here around Houston, GFS showing us above freezing, but yet again, look how close we are to that freezing line. So any error in the temperature will be the significant factor when it comes to whether or not we see frozen precipitation. And the European model, in this case, kind of agrees, but budges the temperature a little bit up, saying but don't hinder your opinion on just these two models, as anything could change. And also wanted to take a look also at the SKU-Ts, and this will be for the city of College Station. What I'm going to show you here is pretty much a vertical profile of our atmosphere of what the GFS believes will happen. And the GFS believes it will be below freezing in the morning hours of Tuesday, with a pretty moist layer up to 850 millibars before it kind of dries out. But I want you to take a look. This is the zero isotherm, or pretty much the freezing mark. You see that this is the red contour line will be our temperature and our dew point for the green one. And it shows that the area will be below freezing up to around maybe 900, where we have a warm nose, meaning that this area, if we have any precipitation, will be all rain, but this area right here will be the problem area, where we can see some frozen type of precipitation over the city of College Station. And this is the vertical profile for Houston, and we're cutting it pretty close according to the GFS. We're right at or just above freezing when we are a lot more moist than College Station. Showing that moisture up to almost 700, maybe 50 millibars. And also showing a warm nose, so a lot of this activity will likely be rain. Now this will be the problem area. Will we be above freezing? Will we be at freezing? Will we be below freezing? That'll be the telltale sign of what's to come. So what can you expect for this weekend? Saturday, warm day, periods of rain. Sunday, be prepared to have your coats and your jackets, as it will temperatures will drop throughout the day, along with a lot of rainy. So it'll be just one of those miserable, don't want to go out days. Into Monday is when it gets interesting. So temperatures will be in the probably lower 40s to upper 30s for most of the area, but how low will we go Monday night into Tuesday morning will determine what kind of precipitation we see, and also if the precipitation is there. I'll be updating this Saturday and Sunday, and we will see what happens. Thank you for watching.